What should school be for? It's possible that school could be a place where every child from every background, regardless of the kinds of experiences they're having outside of school, could have experiences in school that help facilitate this process. Give every developing brain its best shot to do this. But that's not what school usually is for, is it? And school is usually for, as you know, learning things. And that's okay, because there are things to learn. And I'm a neuropsychologist. Believe me, there's a lot of things that I needed to learn to become a competent neuropsychologist. And it's the same thing in your line of work. Whatever you do, there's things to know. Yeah, so, we have to learn material. There is content to know. But when we focus solely on content and forget capabilities, we don't build the brain. And of course, you know how content learning works. Oh, and here's another problem. Because this isn't an environment that's designed to provide children with opportunities to, what is that thing again? Motivated, repeated experiment. Yeah, you can't do that there. I mean, you might have a teacher who has that inclination and tries to, build some of it in, but that's not an environment designed to build a brain. But that's what we do at school, and this is how we evaluate school. We give tests. And if we want to improve school, there's a very superficial logic that says, well, I don't know, if we want to have schools be better, what should we do? Well, children should learn more stuff, right? Because isn't that what school is for, to learn things? And how will we know if school is improving? Well, it's simple. We'll give them tests. And if they know more stuff, as seen on the test, then schools are improving. That's the way we think about school improvement. And of course, PISA has played a significant role in this. Every 3 years around the world, children take PISA tests. And then the OECD produces the PISA ranking tables. Okay, so the part in purple, that's the midpoint. There's the United States. Oh, we're not doing so great in math. You see, and instantly the mind goes to, oh man, got to get those math scores up. And but we're doing okay in reading. At least we're above the midpoint in reading and science, so maybe we're doing okay. And there's the Czech Republic. And right away, the competition is set up, isn't it? Yeah, man, you're kicking it. You're kicking it in math. But hey, man, we're winning. Sorry, we're winning on reading and science. And so maybe you should get your reading and science game together. Because we're winning. So there. And this spreads all over the world. Every country in the world that wants to improve education is trying to improve performance on tests. Because after all, if school is going to get made better, they're going to know more stuff. And how will we know if they know more stuff? We're going to see improvements on tests. Now, Pasi Solberg, who is formerly with the Finnish Ministry of Education, former teacher, written widely about why Finnish education works so well, even though they don't chase the test scores. He's described this trend as the global education reform movement, and that spells germ. And if you're quick and you know English well, you know what that means. That's what germ is. But there are consequences to chasing the test scores. And believe me, the test scores have real importance in the United States. And one of the consequences is you stop teaching other things, or at least de-emphasize them. In fact, then you especially de-emphasize the kinds of activities that help build the brain, because those things aren't on the test. And everybody gets nervous. Teachers can lose their jobs. Schools can close. Principals can get fired if they're not improving the test scores. So one thing that happens is school becomes unbelievably boring. Now, in an unrelated study, the economic analysis was done, there's never enough funding for education. In this study, they explored what would the consequences be on school performance if you changed from a 5-day to a 4-day school week. You know what the consequence was? Scores went up. Now roll that around in your mind for a moment. What they've done is they've created a situation where you do better if you get less of it. That's what chasing test scores brings you to. Oh, and by the way, PISA, other international tests, analyses have been done. PISA scores predict nothing about the economic future of a country. Once you're out of the bottom quartile, you know what I mean, the bottom 25%, you probably don't want to be there. Okay, there's basic literacy issues perhaps, but once you're out of there, it doesn't really matter how people do on PISA tests. Other factors are far more important in predicting economic development. Google knows this. Google doesn't care how you did on the test. Google used to be famous for doing brain teasers and things like that. They don't do that anymore. You know what predicts performance on the job at Google? Give me an example of a time when you solved an analytically difficult problem. That's a highly predictive interview question. It has to do with this. How do you get a job at Google? You have a well-built brain. That's how you get a job. Ernst & Young has done an analysis of incoming employees. They don't care how you did at university. They want you to have gone to university. They don't care how you did. They don't care about the test scores. They don't predict performance at Ernst & Young. IBM did an international study, interviewed 1,700 CEOs from 68 countries in 18 industries. You know what they want? They want people who can innovate, people who are creative, people who can communicate, people who can collaborate within the company and with customers. They don't care about the test scores. And you know what? Not a single one of those 1,700 CEOs said anything about school performance.